Now you talked about that online intranet or data, the project managing tool that we have. From mine, one big thing happened at the start of the year where I think we brought on our 12th coach, and we often do. There's often like education within the coaching ranks, and I'll ask you about how it all works for everyone to see. But one thing was amazing for me that I think it was like some technical topic like the intricacies of threshold, running thresholds and that versus pace or something like that. And I logged in maybe like 18 hours after that first post was offered, and it was like a Reddit like thing. It was like had about nine. I think 9 of the 12 coaches had voiced their like respectful opinions, and they were super respectful but incredibly thought of and considered responses to those questions. And there was like we had I think 1 or 2 coaches who are studying tertiary education on on high performance coaching. We've got people doing all these courses through Training Peaks and the like, and people throwing in like peer-reviewed articles, and it was just amazing. And it was a moment, I think, a pinch yourself moment. I was like, man, we're creating this sort of snowball where the learning is just so deep now. So talk to me about how that came about and what it looks like in terms of the coach to coach, how we work together as coaches.
Yeah, I can't pinpoint exactly when that started. I guess as we've started to grow and take on more coaches, and the discussions that are happening behind closed doors and questions that are being asked kind of took on more of a formal sound. I'm not going to say formal because it's not that formal, but it took on a label, and then from there we kind of called it the Geek Out, and that's kind of a subfolder that we have on that tool. It's called Basecamp, and we did have some structure to it. I think the first year we tried to bring up a topic once a month or once every second month, and then that could be anything from goal planning to season planning, like macro plans, micro plans, how you set, how you determine a lactate threshold heart rate, like what's the best method for that, what are your heart rate zones, what are your power zones, all that. So there's so much discussion around that going on. This year I kind of let it just evolve more on an organic level. I think next year we'll go back to more of a semi-structured approach and have set topics. But yeah, like you said, most times it's me putting up a question and getting things rolling. But yeah, we've got a really good team of coaches that some have got multiple degrees and masters and masters in physiotherapies, and our other head coach Emma, she's partway through her masters in sports coaching. So, and then we've got the development coaches that might not necessarily have all the degrees, but they're just starting out and they're asking lots of good questions, and it's cool. We get lots of different perspectives, and I think that's a really cool thing too, is watching everybody, including myself, develop into being able to, even if you can't sometimes, at least attempt to see things from everybody else's point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of like coaching, in my view at least, there are sort of 3 aspects from it or to it. One is your academic background, or your academic education on coaching. One is your experience as a coach, and what you've been able to do with athletes. And the third one is your own athletic experiences yourself. And whilst we probably have the most coaches under one umbrella than any other company or any other business in Australia, what comes with that, the benefit of that, I think, is that, and the environment or the culture that we have, that we've sort of created, is that it's such an open and shared environment, so that you can, as an athlete, you can, you might go with a development coach who might not have that experience in any of those three elements, but they can lean on all of the coaches and all of their experiences on all three pillars, whether it's being someone who's done a swim run before as an athlete or as a coach, or they've done their masters in swim run, for example. They can go, right, I've got this athlete, there's an issue here. How would I structure a macro plan? All these questions. And it's amazing to see that we've got these coaches that are so willing to help and to share and for the benefit of the group, And I think that's really unique. Not that I've been in any other coaching businesses, inside, but I think the amount of work, I've got a meeting tonight, for example, online, and it's really cool. So
Yeah, I agree.
and I put a lot of that weight on your shoulders in terms of how you've created that. So it's very commendable.